HBO's House of the Dragon explores not only the Targaryen dynasty's past, but also the history of some regions of Westeros that viewers never got to see in the Game of Thrones. We're talking about the Stepstones, a group of uninhabited islands between Westeros and Essos, and Triarchy, an alliance of the free cities in Westeros. But why do they hold such importance? Stay tuned as we talk about the Game of Thrones lore and more. First up, the Triarchy. The Triarchy is an alliance between the free cities of Lys, Myre, and Tyrosh. As the free cities on the western coast of Essos are sometimes referred to as the Daughters of Old Valyria, the kingdom came to be known as the Kingdom of the Three Daughters. The freehold of Valyria built the city of Tyrosh to control traffic through the Stepstones. Since then, it has grown into a major economic center in its own right. The fact that the Triarchy originated in Essos helps to shed light on how a mask associated with the Sons of the Harpy made its way to Westeros. When Volantis was finally defeated in the Battle of the Borderland, the Triarchy was set up for the first time. After that, they led an invasion of the Stepstones to get rid of the pirates who lived there. However, Lys soon started kidnapping women and children who were traveling through the area and later sold them into slavery. Even though Kragas Drahar, also known as Crabfeeder, the Admiral Prince of Myre, was killed in Episode 3, the eternal alliance between the forces of Myre, Lysene, and Tyroshi is still very strong, and they have no plans to give up the Stepstones without a fight. Moving on to the absence of the Triarchy in Game of Thrones. So we get that the Triarchy is important for the world of Westeros, but why wasn't it in the Game of Thrones? Even though we didn't see any of the free cities, that doesn't mean they didn't exist. There have been previous references to the cities of the Triarchy in the Game of Thrones. Tyrosh is a city ripe with conflict, and it has been for many years. King Robert Baratheon learns from Sir Barristan Selmy that he has fought many battles in the city throughout the first season. Sir Barristan must have told Daenerys Targaryen, supporter Sir Barristan, about the need for courage in the region, before the latter decided to join the resistance movement. Daenerys put together an army of second sons from the free cities. Daario Naharis is in charge of this army. Lys was also mentioned several times. The city has a bad rep, and many workers, including Daenerys' handmaiden Doreah in Game of Thrones, come from the pleasure houses of Lys. Sir Davos Seaworth was a smuggler in the area, and he convinced Salador Son, a Lysene sailor, to join Stannis Baratheon's army. Lord Varys is also thought to be from this sea, since Oberyn Martell, a Dornish warrior, hears a slight Lynese accent that Varys is trying to hide when they talk. Even though there was some fighting at sea in Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragon should stand out by putting more focus on sea battles. Next up, the battle for Triarchy. The Triarchy serves as an important trade route throughout Westeros, so it's no surprise there are people who want their hands on it. One of them is the Crabfeeder, who is an important bad guy. In a slow but cruel campaign, the Crabfeeder was attacking ships and cutting up the crews. Sailors in chains are taken to an island where they're eaten alive by crabs. Because of his scary fight with Grayscale and the injuries he got, the Crabfeeder put on a scary mask to hide his face. The mask helped to develop a legend regarding his mythic powers of destruction. The Crabfeeder may not be of royal blood, but he has appointed himself Prince Admiral of the Triarchy. It makes strategic sense for Daemon to defend the free cities from the Triarchy. If the country's economy collapses, it won't matter if he takes the Iron Throne or not. Daemon knew he needed a larger force than what he already had, so winning Corlys over was crucial. If they are able to overthrow the Triarchy, he will have a new place to run his operations. The ability to cut off trade with Viserys I's forces would also add to his power. Moving on to Daemon and Corlys' alliance. The veteran seafarer Lord Corlys Velaryon, also known as the Sea Snake, joins forces with Daemon Targaryen in the second episode, the Rogue Prince. Corlys felt insulted when Viserys turned down Laena's request to marry Alicent Hightower. However, Corlys has more important things to worry about. Pirates led by Prince Admiral Kragas Drahar, aka the Crabfeeder, were attacking his country. During one of his travels, Corlys discovered a group of islands called the Stepstones. The Stepstones are in Essos, between the Summer Sea and the Narrow Sea. They are a place where pirates and smugglers like to hang out. Even though the Stepstones are dangerous by nature, they are an important way for the Seven Kingdoms to trade. When Drahar and his army of pirates attack the area and take control of it, they could throw off the economy of the Seven Kingdoms as a whole. Corlys once requested that the king send his fleet to protect the Stepstones. However, the king declined. Corlys was enraged because he needed to defend his territory. Add that to his already existing issues with the king, it's safe to say Corlys wasn't happy. So Corlys sneaks off to Dragonstone to approach Daemon about allying. Corlys defends the Stepstones, and Daemon gets the Iron Throne. Let's talk about the story of the Crabfeeder. House of the Dragon, like its predecessor, is about the politics and plotting that go into getting and keeping the Iron Throne. With the Game of Thrones prequel focusing on House Targaryen, the show has been looking at King Viserys and his struggles to keep everyone happy, including his dangerous brother, Prince Daemon, and his rightful heir, Princess Rhaenyra. In the second episode of House of the Dragon, The Rogue Prince, we meet Prince Kragas Crabfeeder Drahar, the newest threat to Westeros from outside the castle walls. Even though the king does not believe the Crabfeeder to be a threat, those around him do. However, who exactly is this unknown individual, and what exactly is their function in the House of the Dragon? Next up, the introduction to Crabfeeder. Lord Corlys first mentions the Crabfeeder in the pilot episode of House of the Dragon. Corlys, commander of the largest navy in Westeros, explains the danger posed by the Triarchy, a coalition of free cities that have formed to eliminate the pirates who have been harassing Stepstones. The king and the council see this as a good thing, because who doesn't want to get rid of those scurvy pirates? In any case, Corlys sees this for what it is. The coming together of independent states is a potential problem for everyone in King's Landing. After all, Corlys had suffered heavy losses in both ships and men at the hands of Triarchy and the shadowy Crabfeeder. The origin of Drahar's surname is revealed in the second episode, which features a man being slowly devoured by small crabs. He isn't satisfied with simply destroying the pirates. Instead, he wants to crucify them on the beach and watches the crabs in the rising tide slowly torture them to death. While viewers wait for answers, Lord Corlys, who stands to lose the most from this villain, provides the most compelling insight into him. The Stepstones in the Southern Sea's narrow channel are a vital trade route for many people in Westeros, especially the Valyrian family, whose wealth and military power are being directly affected by the raids. Crabfeeder was a very intimidating character in the series, but how do the books portray him? Coming up, the Crabfeeder in the books. The biggest and immediate difference between the two counterparts is that in the series, the Crabfeeder is not of royal blood, but in the books, he's a Myrish prince. Before the events of the TV show, the Triarchy beat the city of Volantis and, with the help of the prince from Myre, moved on to the Stepstones. Once all the pirates were defeated, Drahar turned into a pirate himself. He boarded many ships, including Lord Corlys's, and stole, pillaged, and fed the sailors to crabs. One thing that makes him different from other bad guys is the way he looks. He looks like he has some kind of skin disease and hides his face with a mask that looks like Leatherface's mask from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. The Crabfeeder is seen as such a big threat that a truce between Lord Corlys and Prince Daemon was formed as a result. King Viserys has earned the ire of everyone involved, so this alliance could end badly for him. One could view Craggus Crabfeeder as merely a vicious pirate who must be eliminated, or one could see him as the monstrous figure who will ultimately bring down the reign of King Viserys. The future holds the answers. That's a wrap for this video. After an explosive House of the Dragon finale, are you excited for Season 2? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.